All right, welcome back to the PPC Mastery Podcast. Today, I have the three musketeers for you again, Thomas Etchel and Adrian Decker. I'm sure you guys know who they are by now. So what we want to do today is go into the most important announcements and updates from Google Marketing Live 2025 and just see what we thought about the developments in the PPC industry and where everything is going, obviously with AI and stuff. But before we go into the updates and the announcements, Thomas, I'm wondering actually, I'm curious. You went there in person in Dublin. How was it?
Yeah, that was a really cool experience. It was the second year that I was invited,
Uh,
and like the whole scenery is really, really exciting and amazing. Google puts a lot of effort in the event, and you can really feel it. They rent the whole conference center in Dublin. It's like 3 floors full of different rooms and product managers, so you can really also deep dive in the new updates. So that's really amazing because they fly in also all experts from the US. They're working really closely at the
mm,
products. And yeah, it was really amazing because it was 2 days packed of, let's say, Google Ads nerds, checking out all the updates, yeah, talking to each other. So yeah, the first day we had the live event that was broadcasted directly from Mountain View in the
mm,
uh, in the conference center in Dublin. And then afterwards, there was obviously a nice party. They rented the whole Opium Club and the Wheeler pub in Dublin. So, like, everyone was partying also there at night. And then the next day, everyone went back again to the conference center, and we had nice talks from, for example, the chief creative officer of Mr. Beast, because obviously YouTube,
mm,
as we're gonna hear today, is gonna be a big part of the future
yeah.
of Google Ads. And later on, we had workshops where you could select different topics, let's say, for example, YouTube or AI or demand gen. So you could talk to the product managers and really ask deep questions. You had half an hour always on a round table. So yeah, the whole experience is amazing. I really like this event because yeah, you can really feel that the effort that Google puts in. Yeah, so really,
Yeah,
really
nice.
nice.
Cool experience to be there in person. Adria, we need to find ourselves an invitation for next year.
Yeah, so only big agencies that spend a
Yeah.
lot are invited, I think. And yeah, I still think that there's also a difference between Europe and United States, right?
Mm,
Would be cool if you could go to the United States for the event,
yeah.
Yeah.
um, or if Genie would do a Europe tour, for example.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. All right, guys. So let's just dive into the most important announcement. So obviously, everything was about AI. I think Bob did an export of the transcript, and he checked how many times certain buzzwords were mentioned. I think AI was mentioned around 145 times. Not really surprising. But Adria, maybe from your perspective first, what was your initial reflection and yeah, what did you think when you saw Google Marketing Live, and what product announcements, new features, updates, etc., really stood out to you?
I think that even before it started, it was already different this year.
Mm,
Um, they already announced like the channel insights for PMax, and I was like, oh,
yeah,
you are announcing it before Google Marketing Live. And the years before, I think it was different. I think everything was announced just during Google Marketing Live, in my eyes.
yeah,
Then also this year, before the event even started, there was a lot more hype, I think, maybe because of
mm,
this AI boom.
mm,
I had the feeling that also a year ago it was not that big. You were a lot of people want to write about it, want to do a podcast about it, want to do
mm,
events about it.
mm,
So there was a lot more hype this year, I think. Then when it started, it's always the same, right? They're just bragging for 20 minutes about the products, and I think it's great. What I saw was that like they were talking a lot about AI, of course, what it can do, image creation, video creation, but also about the system that they have YouTube, that they have so many different data points that they can connect all together, and then focusing on that they really are the only one who really understands the intent behind search queries and how it all works together, and that they understand understand it from the beginning to the end. So you start with demand gen or YouTube, and then you get a special product checkout, for example. So it was interesting to see how they did that. And I think the biggest thing is the direction that they're going into. It's not really about the futures that we're getting, because we were already getting a lot of PMAX, new tools for PMAX in the months before, like the search terms, like the negative keywords, like the channel insights a few weeks before. I think this event was more about the direction that Google is heading to. And the most, I think this, the small tool of A/B testing shopping is really interesting in my eyes. That's something that you can actually do something with in the upcoming months when they make that available. So I think that is really exciting. They waited really long for this tool. I think maybe because they were scared that people would keyword stuff things or do weird images. But now that it's easier to create images with their tools also, I think they want to test this and launch this. So that's the biggest thing basically, because you can really do something with that right now.
Yeah, I agree. Maybe also the hype was also because AI mode was announced the day before, so there was a lot of buzz around. Oh, what is Google gonna do now? Because there recently you guys have seen it all over LinkedIn. People are saying Google is dead, SEO is dead, Google Ads is dead because of all the LLMs, ChatGPT, Claude, etc. Um, so I think this is definitely an interesting direction for Google, taking on those LLMs face on. And then everybody must have been wondering, like, okay, how does the new ad experience look like then with AI mode? And I think they also dove into their plans for that, on how they're going to monetize. Obviously, they're going to monetize it. They're going to find ways to put ads in the new AI experiences. And I agree that the GMC A/B testing feature was almost actually one of the only really like tangible things that we can use and that we can set up. That was one of my observations as well. It's like a lot of high over stuff and not really the nitty gritty things that we were used to seeing at Google Marketing Live. And I think that's the thing of the past. I don't think next year it's going to be different. It's all going to be big picture and more
Yeah.
towards full funnel thinking, and obviously Power Pack. We'll get to that, but more much less nitty gritty controls, except maybe on the demand gen side. So, what about you, Thomas? What was your initial thoughts when you saw the things that were being announced?
Yeah, so honestly, I was expecting somehow PMAX channel control. I don't know why. It was like a wish that I had, because I thought, okay, Google announced it for demand gen campaigns, so they have the backend code to in order to also display it in the Google Ads interface. So I was somehow hoping that PMAX channel controls would come. So that was like my big a moment that I was waiting for, but it never arrived. Also maybe because PMAX campaign as a campaign type itself is made for to go on all channels. So I also had like interesting talks with Google Ads account managers in Dublin, where they said, no, you don't need that. But I said, yeah, probably you can need it. But yeah, so in general, I was also not disappointed, but I was waiting for something, a big announcement, a big update that didn't arrive like last year. Last year, everything was a big update and something we've never heard. So Google, obviously the channel reporting for PMAX was leaked already months before, so everybody knew about it. But yeah, in general, what I saw also is that Google wanted to show really with the GML that they are the AI powerhouse. They are not like giving in on Perplexity, ChatGPT, OpenAI. They're really here, and they created awesome products with VO3, Imagine, and so on. And they really showed that AI is present in all kind of products that they have. And I think that's why the hype this year was quite big, because everybody wanted to see how is Google reacting. How is Google reacting against all these AI newcomers chasing Google? But yeah, at the end, Google presented that they are really the power AI company, and they have everything in order to shape the future again, but this time with AI also. So in general, what I liked was, for example, the creator partnership ads, the integration in Google Ads. because Google said they really want to push YouTube, and everyone should use YouTube because you get better results. And so it makes sense that they integrate a partner tool, a creator partner tool, directly in Google Ads, where you can search creators, you can see their audience, you can see pricing, and then you can call up with this creator. Because then later on at Dublin, I also was in a roundtable where they deep dive a bit further into creator ads. What is really an ad with a creator? So like it obviously has a way better impact for the advertiser, because normally when you watch a video of a creator, you really trust them. So there was also like a neuroscience project that I think 50% of viewers of a creator that are subscribed, they really don't care if the creator makes ads or shows ads, because they think they own the creator something, because they watch their channel for free. So they're really okay with ads, and they also engage with these ads more. So that's why I think creator partnership ads and this new insights finder inside Google Ads for Creators is a really cool update that I really liked, because I also think working with creators is the future for video ads. And in general, what I didn't expect, or what was very new for me, was this new acquisition goal for PMax. I don't know, that it was not really talked about a lot on LinkedIn, but it's really stick in my mind. This is this acquisition goal for reaching new potential customers that are, let's say, for acquiring prospects, where you have more also controls. You can exclude, for example, people who search on YouTube, people who are already your customers, and you can really bid more for users that might be prospects for you. So that's a really cool beta in the campaign settings that I liked. And something else like demand gen gets maps inventory. It's also was a bit surprising for me, because now I thought, okay, so demand gen is really opening up more and more inventory. So at the end, it has the same inventory as PMax. If we move on like that, we got display this year. Now we will get maps inventory. So we're just missing search. Now we have like a PMax campaign again. So, and also that I like that Google is now pushing AI overview ads. I think that was about time that they do it. So that was a bit exciting for me, because we saw Perplexity is going with follow-up ads and media ads, and now Google is is the second, let's say, company that shows ads in their AI inventory. And so I really like that.
Yeah, super interesting, man. And I think for demand gen, this is I think from here moving forward, we're going to see so much more from Google. We've seen getting more granular controls on the demand gen side, but I think that I think you also mentioned it, Adrian. The first 20 minutes or so, Google is just flexing their muscles and saying how big YouTube is, and it's the biggest streaming service, and kind of like showing that they are the dominant force still, and that they're not going anywhere. And I think Bob made this observation. Usually, it was more so about the search part of the search side of things, and then YouTube was separate of that. But this year, it really felt like Google wanted to show it as sort of an integrated thing. Especially now that we can also start seeing in the near future video assets on search. In search results. So with your search ads, they can actually now also show, or soon, video assets, which is super interesting, because then everything is going to become much more visual. And then I think from there, Google's going to push much more on the discoverability of those channels, of, for example, YouTube, display, etc. And also now that they are making it easier for advertisers to create videos with a VO3 or other tools like that. So I think they're going to make it so much easier, even more, which have already tried with auto-created assets, which kind of failed. But now I think with these new tools, they're going to make it even easier for advertisers to really say yes to using that inventory. Super interesting developments. Adrian, what other features or announcements or anything else stood out for you from Google Marketing Live?
Yeah, so to get back to Thomas, because he said about creatorship ads, I also think it's interesting that you cut out like influencer agencies a bit, because you can maybe directly select a creator then you can get more. You can maybe spend more because they get less money. So
Yeah.
I did a thesis about influencer marketing, and then I know you had these agencies, and you could ask them like, "Oh, this is my product. Which person is the best fit for this campaign?" And I think they're also cutting it out a bit right now and making it easier. So that's also an interesting thing. Yeah, other interesting things. Mm, I think what was interesting was, like I said before, is that they made this event not about PMAX or something, and they did all the updates before already, right? And they still put them in the Google Marketing Live event, but they just announced them before. Yeah, and I think YouTube had a big influence again. Also with peak moments, they were already announced 2 weeks before. But then when you look into the Google Marketing Live updates, you see them again. Same with like, this is a question for Thomas. Did they really speak about that demand gen would get maps? Because I just saw it afterwards in the overview.
Yeah, so they never really said it, but I saw it in like different Google Ads pages, like the official support page. But it was not really set in that moment. Not in Dublin, and I think not in Mountain in Mountain View. But yeah, so that's probably, I think, an update that will come like maybe Q3 or Q4. So not really recent, because normally they announce something that is available today. They say today it's available, or
Mm-hmm.
in this month. But so that's why I think this update is coming maybe, I don't know, August, September, something like that. But yeah, they didn't really mention it. But I think they didn't mention a lot of updates, like smaller
Mm-hmm.
updates. They just went with the big ones where they can
Yeah.
also show themselves, show how big they are. And yeah, so yeah, because there is like a page, a support page, where you have all the updates written, and there are so many I've never heard about, I've never seen on LinkedIn, never seen anywhere. So yeah, there's a lot of new stuff also.
Yeah. I think
And
for Google, it's like sorry, Adrian. One quick notice. I think they don't really do anything by accident. You know, everything is well thought out, and also
Yeah.
the PMAX channel reporting insights that were shared a few weeks or few months before. I think they did it on purpose to kind of create some goodwill, and then with Google Marketing Live, it's more like high over instead of going into the nitty gritty details. I think this whole event, like, everything is like scripted, of course, and well laid out. So I think everything is done for a reason. So it is interesting to kind of look between the lines of what Google is doing. And I also I noticed that they mentioned super often, we listen to your feedback, and I think
Yeah.
that way they're also trying to win the goodwill, and
Yeah.
because even PMAX channel reporting, yeah, we listen to your feedback, but they should have built that 3 years ago. We've
Yeah.
used MicroScript for 3 years now,
Exactly.
and now all of a sudden they're starting to listen to feedback, which is obviously good. But I think they're using that to kind of win the goodwill. Um,
Yeah.
but apart from that, Ali, I think you just wanted to drop in something.
yeah, you also had like the bidding exploration new
Mm.
tool that was interesting to see. Um, that's just also like the direction they're going to, like broader, and they're still doing that with a better asset creation tools, and with better asset creation tools you can get more out of demand gen, for example, but also with putting in the videos then in search, and with those tools it's all tied together. I think all these things that it's the direction, and then the tools that you get to use that direction. And that's also my advice, to get used to the prompts that you can use, and to how to do YouTube, and what's different in YouTube, and how can I make good videos for YouTube, because that's the direction that we're going into. So
Mm.
start learning more about those things. Of course, the fundamentals, that's the base, but look at the direction and which skills do I need for that direction, and then you can have a head start.
Yeah,
Mm.
for sure. So in terms of direction, one thing that I definitely thought was interesting was the new um, sort of agentic actions thing. So I guess we can call it AI agents. And what I liked, there's basically two parts of this. The first one is they call it agentic actions, but just automated actions with AI for the consumer. So you can now try on different items, clothing, and see how it looks on you after you upload an image. I think that is a fantastic feature, and I also hope that it's going to decrease return rates for brands. And it's nice for you as a consumer, because then you can just try, you upload your image and just try different t-shirts, jeans, etc. But then on the other side, there's agents inside of Google Ads that we can start to use to help analyze data or find data points, or just have conversations like we would with ChatGPT, to ask how the conversation is going. And I wonder what you guys think of it, because I think in the beginning it's probably going to be a lot similar to AARs and a lot of OptiScore things. But I think as time progresses, it's probably going to get much better. And then hopefully it would be super cool if we can actually program those agents according to your goals and your KPIs, and what is actually important to that specific account and advertiser. So I'm curious, like Adrian, what did you think of these AI agents inside of Google Ads? And then we'll get to you, Thomas.
Yeah, I always ask myself, like, why can't we just do prompts, and that we get data out of those prompts, and that we can optimize on it, and finally now is the time. I think it's just like when you do a short prompt, like which is my best campaign, that's it only states which is the best campaign, but why is it your best campaign? So you really need to think about the context in all of these things. And I think that, like, when you're not good at writing prompts, or you do not understand Google Ads, or you do not understand how an offer or a landing page can influence your campaign, then it's maybe even a bad tool for you. So you really need to understand things about the system, about your offer, about your landing page, and why it's right now doing well a campaign, or why it's performing bad, and how you can optimize it. So I would say you still need knowledge, but it will help definitely.
Yeah, super interesting point. What about you, Thomas? What did you think about those new things?
Exactly. So I saw this AI, this Google Ads expert agent that is basically integrated in this chat window that pops up when you're in the Google Ads account. But what I had to laugh a bit when they announced it, because you saw like somebody texting, and then this AI agent basically sent out recommendations that you see in your recommendation tab. For example, it says, your target CPA, switch to target CPA, or remove conflicting negative keywords. So it's, as for now, it's a really, let's say, really basic AI, I would say. I think it feeds just data that comes from recommendation, like analyzes it and then restructures it and sends it over to you. So I think for now, if you're an Excel Google Ads specialist, I think you don't need it. But I think it might become powerful if they, I don't know, change something in the algorithm for this AI agent, make them more complex, more intelligent. I think then it can be interesting. But I don't think that right now it can really help you with working with Google Ads, because I think we're really used to the manual work. And we used to look at the reports that we normally go through every day. So I think it's not really for now helping me to get better or to increase some tasks in time. But I think since AI is moving so fast, and we've seen it in this GML compared to last GML, I think this year was all about AI and how fast it's evolving. I think this agentic support agent, let's call it like that, can really be powerful. And I think it's also cutting some jobs in the AI, in the Google Ads support, where I worked also. So I think these AI agents were made in order to like fix problems for you that normally the support did. So I think it's also going a bit in that direction. And as you said before, all these shopping experiences where you can try on dresses, for example, as they show. I think it's a really cool feature, because you don't, you cut away returns. That is normally always a big reporting problems for advertisers also, which can then result in wrong ROAS, in wrong POAS. So I think that's good. But yeah, as I said, I think people will then also maybe just buy more, and then yeah, I don't maybe they don't even needed it. Let's say like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, might be boosting a bit demand, but yeah, not always in a good way. Let's say like that.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
Google, yeah, and Google also made sure to say that Google is your partner in driving business in Dublin. They always say that we're your partner in driving
Mm.
business, and with these new AI tools and AI overviews, they are creating more demand because people are now searching differently. They're searching things they've never searched before, and they can also now get things they've never got before. So they boost really demand and new product sales. So that's also really interesting. And this whole checkout, direct checkout in the Google, let's say Google interface, you're never leaving Google and never going to the merchant checkout page is also really an interesting move in the AI sector of Google. And yeah, I think that's going to become very, very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And I agree with what you said with that AI is changing so fast because last year I remember I think it was also Google Marketing Live when Google announced Product Studio. Maybe it was I think it was last year, or maybe 2 years ago. I'm not sure, but at least they were talking about Product Studio and how cool this new AI is because you can easily like click an image or your shopping ad and then click a new and get a new image as a background, for example. And that was the beginning, and we were all mind blown because oh man, now we can quickly test so many backgrounds for my shopping ads. And then if you fast forward 12 months and see where we are now, and the video they showed with that was created with VO3, and the images that they are creating with Imagine, and the AI agents that are now inside of starting to come inside of Google Ads, it's crazy. And everyone always says it like you need to start using the tools now because it might not be perfect yet, but it is going to improve so fast. And now if you look back, then it really showed that that is truly the case. Where in the moment you don't really notice it, but then if you zoom out a little bit, it's crazy how fast it actually changes, and the developments that you're seeing now. And if you're still stuck in what worked 12 24 months ago, then you are definitely behind on everyone else because simply it is changing so ridiculously fast. That was something that I noticed. Is just it's just crazy how fast those things are changing.
Yeah, that's true. And normally, if you test out new AI tools or any tactics, AI tactics, and then in the beginning they don't work for you or you get frustrated,
Mm,
then that sticks in your mind for forever
mm,
if you never go back and test it. So I think AI is evolving so fast. So everyone who was struggling with AI platforms, for example, should go back now to them and test again because I think it really became better. Like the whole AI transformation is really good now. Yeah.
yeah, for sure. So Adrian, question for you: what do you think of the Power Pack?
So Google already got got criticized because of like the Power Pair. There was a
Mm,
leaked email where they were talking about that they were just pushing the product. So I think it was bold that they now announced the
double down.
Power. Yeah, I was thinking like, okay, the Power Pair does not work. They will stop using it. This email got leaked maybe, but also they're so big, and if they're going into that direction, one email will not change it.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
I think it's just another way. They just love demand gen like they love PMax, and they want everybody to use demand gen. And I think that's why all these updates, all the updates normally are for demand gen and PMax. And this is just again, they were already heading in this direction where they want everybody to apply demand gen. And I still remember that when the product came out, some advertisers I had wanted to test with it, and now they're just basically going further, pushing everybody to test with it. And
mm,
also maybe they're like in the waters with Meta because with the view to conversions coming, and they just want that upper funnel traffic. And I also think that, like I said before, everything connects together. It's easier to create upper funnel visuals right now with all these tools that are coming, and then they're also creating better tracking, better insights. So they have a goal. The goal is obvious: more upper funnel traffic. They understand the intent better, and they also can give us better tools to use these campaign types. So it's very clear.
Yeah. Well, I think what was interesting about PowerPack is that um, for everyone who is not aware, if you haven't seen it yet, it's Performance Max plus Demand Gen and AI Max for search campaigns. So what was interesting is they used to say the Power Pair is Performance Max plus search campaigns, but now they are making the a deliberate distinction that it's not search, but it is AI Max for search campaigns as part of the quote unquote Power Pack. So that is going to be their main thing moving forward for search.
Yeah,
I think that's an interesting one.
but Ginny said, like in the interview, I think, no, it's just a tool. It's not a campaign type. And now they're
Yeah,
just it. Now it looks like it's a campaign type, but it's
right.
not a campaign type. So I think it should be like search. But then, like they they want everybody to use search AI in the future. I think
Yeah,
Yeah, I think they
I've not
cannot
used
just
it, but I'm
sunset search campaigns, so that's why they integrate it. They say,
yeah,
okay, it's AI Max, but at the end, everybody will, I think, will use it in the future.
yeah, for sure. Especially when keyword match types as we know them go away, and it's just AI Max for search campaigns. I would assume that that is going to be the case somewhere in the next
Yeah.
12 to 24 months. Not per se no keywords, but only like super broad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And at the end,
and
this
that.
this AI Max for search, it's basically what I studied about it. It's basically a, I don't know, kind of like a DSA campaign, um, feeds with broad
Hmm.
signals, broad match keywords, kind of like
Hmm.
that. Or kind of, you can also say it's a final URL expansion with automated asset creation, for example. Those
Yeah,
two things from PMAX just brought to a search campaign. So I think at
yeah,
the end, and I think in the internal emails from Google that got leaked, they also call it PMAX for search. But now they call it AI Max for search. But at the end, it's a PMAX for search campaign. So a PMAX that runs, it's gonna be the same if you have a PMAX campaign and then you see on channel reporting it's 100% spent on search. So I think that's a AI
mm,
Max for search. That's how
yeah.
I see it right now. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's also one thing that I created in the PPC Edge. I created 7 observations. So not really, I didn't really do a recap of the all the announcements. I really enjoyed that one that you created, Adrian. It's like super fast, nice overview of every like small and big thing they talked about. And I had 7 observations, kind of looking between the lines. And I my sixth one was Google is great at repackaging older features. So with, as you said, with AI Max for search, they are bringing it as though it is this new big thing. But as you said, it's just same keyword targeting tech as Broadmatch plus DSA. It has the auto-generated assets capabilities that DSA brings, and then again also final URL expansion, exactly like you said, which is sort of similar to DSA. So it's just broad match, DSA, and auto-generated ads inside of AI Max for search. Um, but I do think that that is the first step for them because they cannot remove all keyword match types before they kind of warm everyone up first. So I think that
Exactly.
that is the first step in their plan to go towards having no keyword match types in the future. But they're
Yeah.
bringing it as though it's like, yeah, new keywordless targeting um, technology, but it is a combination of the things that were already there. So yeah, I guess Google is just really
Exactly.
great at repackaging those things.
Yeah, and I also think like if because you can have a search campaign and then if you upgrade it to AI Max, then I think those keywords are getting in the backend like search themes, like that those
Mm,
search theme that you use in PMAX. So I think the technology behind this completely the same. It's like a PMAX campaign at the end. But I think it's obviously a step in order to generate more revenue also. But I think it's if I were Google, I would also kind of like go for in that direction because as Google said, 50% of the searches every day are new searches, and what they see is the searches are becoming long tail. People are searching
Yeah.
very differently because now they have AI overviews. So our exact match keywords that worked amazingly in 2020, they might not cover anything anymore related to the new searches. I think it makes sense that you go for that technology, but obviously I'm also a bit afraid that the irrelevant searches are increasing again, or like competitor searches are coming in again with AI Max for search. So I think also here we need to see how many negative keywords do I need, how much relevant terms are coming, how much irrelevant terms. So I think it's a big question mark yet, but I think the direction is understandable in my way, because searches are really different right now than they used to be.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think what is good is that we just do still get the controls. So with AI
Yeah.
Max for search, you can still, it's one toggle and you turn it on, but you can still opt out of certain features if you don't want to use them,
Yeah.
which is kind of good, I guess. Cool. So, is there anything else, Adrian, that you found interesting from Google Marketing Live?
Yeah, just to get back to the points that you were discussing, like I think like for small companies, when keywords will go away and they do not have enough data, it's going to be really hard. So I cannot imagine that they will throw them out, because if you do not get enough conversions, how will small companies or companies with very long sales cycles perform? So I cannot imagine that will happen, because that is also, they are also spending still a lot of money, I think. So I cannot imagine that they will cut it out, but they will definitely push everybody in that direction. And yeah, the other things that were interesting. I think we already discussed a lot of things, and they're all the same principles. I think it's interesting what Thomas said, that broad match is getting more attractive, I think, and that is because these queries are changing, and Google, in a lot of different presentations, they are literally saying that searches are becoming longer and more complex. So yeah, for companies that say, I did a broad match test a year ago, it was not good, they also somehow make broad match better, they say, and then they never tell us what they did. They just say, oh yeah, we did 90 PMAX updates and we got 20 more conversions right now for PMAX. Or they say we did 60 demand gen updates and demand gen is now 10% better. I never know how they did the research, where it is for which companies, but they are changing these products. Products are getting better. Broad match is getting better. So an action step for advertisers that did test it a year ago, 6 months ago. These products are changing, and
Yeah.
test again, and that's why making a test log and then saying, okay, we tested this a year ago, let's test it right now again. I would say look at how things are changing and test again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great point. Also, what you said about keywords there, I definitely agree. Like the keyword has always been the backbone of what Google Ads is all about. But I do think with the new AI mode, where you can search much more conversationally, I think the search queries are going to become even more long tail. It's not even going to be like a search query. It's like how you use ChatGPT. It's like sentences sometimes, or like super long sentences in terms of many words. So if you kind of look at it from that perspective, when you are using AI mode, then the understanding of what people are looking for, it becomes really important, and you cannot capture that with a keyword. So now it might sound like I'm like a little bit of Google propaganda, but I think that is definitely impossible to capture that traffic with just a keyword.
Yeah, I think it's like with shopping ads, you cannot target keywords, right? You can only exclude them, and maybe we're going to something like that that Google say we still give you control.
Yeah.
Because like with shopping ads, you never know when they get triggered, which what is a trigger. It should be an intent to buy or to see a product. And maybe it's the same with AI overviews, that only the system knows when it wants to show an AI overview, and that we can only maybe exclude keywords like we have in shopping. I think it's already crazy that you can only exclude things in shopping, but it is what it is. They just did that, I think. So maybe we're going to a future where you can only exclude keywords. Maybe that is the thing, because Google says you never know when AI overviews get triggered.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that would make sense.
What
Um,
what for me
yeah, go ahead.
also stood out, I don't know if it was just in Dublin, but or also in Mountain View, that Google was mentioning a lot Google Lens, like that Google Lens has been skyrocketing,
Good point.
and
Yeah.
also that now the circle to click or circle to lens, how
Yeah.
they call it for Android users, is really popular for Gen Z audience, and they somehow, I don't remember exactly the stats, but they say that 10% of the users of Gen Z use circle to lens. So also that's, I think, interesting product. I also use Google Lens quite often, but now they integrated Google Lens with AI overview, so you can really, for example, I take now a picture of you, Miles, because I like your watch, so I just make the picture, circle your watch, and then AI overview shows me exactly the product, and right now I can buy it. So I think that's a really amazing product, also in order to, again, boost demand and boost sales for businesses. So that was also a strong thing from Google to tell us that Google Lens is also here, and it's also very popular amongst the younger audience, and it's here to create sales.
Yeah, good point, man. I totally forgot about that one. I think it's going to be big for Google because actually this week I was in the backyard when it was still sunny outside. Now it's shitty weather, but my girlfriend and I, we were outside working on the garden, and we have this new. We're just starting to put more plants in there, make it a little bit more green and stuff. And so we have the wall of our neighbors. We want to put more plants on it, and we bought one or two plants, but it was still kind of empty. So what my girlfriend did, she took a picture and put it in ChatGPT, like, okay, what can we do to liven it up a little bit more, make it more green, more plants, and then it reconstructed that image with the ChatGPT AI tool, and then it gave more suggestions on, like, oh, maybe you could put a ladder here and some hanging plants and stuff, and that was really cool. So I think with Google Lens and how that is developing, I think Google can also capture that, because you can ask for inspiration, or maybe in your living room you're thinking about, okay, maybe like what type of couch can I put here, or what type of art can I put behind me on the wall. Or I think that's a super interesting tool when it's being integrated with Gemini, giving us a lot of opportunities.
I think we sometimes forget all these systems and how they can work together, and how they can serve potential customers for information, for products, for services. It's like we're in this podcast for like 40 minutes and just remembering, okay, we also have Google Lens, right? And to be honest, I was on vacation in Japan and I translated everything with Lens. It's awesome. And then when I wanted to, like what Miles said, sometimes also I was with plants, and okay, which plant is it? And then you will just put your camera on it, and that's also like, they also have maps, that where they can just promote local stuff. Let's talk about local even. How is ChatGPT going to handle local when Google just have Google Maps and they can handle local stuff? And if you put everything together, the system, like, to be honest, the first 20 minutes I thought it's bragging, but then I was thinking like, okay, but it is also like a crazy system. And just saying that Google is gone and ChatGPT will take over. Google has so many different companies, and the only thing is that they cannot just release it all because they're already the biggest. So they're just waiting on the competition and then in-house developing things.
Yes,
that's my opinion.
And that's the point. I think everyone can say, okay, ChatGPT will come after Google and kill it, but you have to imagine Google has how much? 100,000 employees. And those 100,000 employees are brilliant minds, and all the scientists they have for search, all the developers they have, they're one of the best in the world. So they will not let themselves just be swiped away by any other AI platform. They have also the budget, they have the money, they have the investors. So they will do everything in order to go against those threats. So I think it's gonna be
And then
interesting what's
especially,
gonna happen.
yeah, and then especially once Gemini becomes the connection between everything, as you
Yeah.
said, Adrian. If and I'm sure that on the back end, that's exactly basically how PMax works. They have everything is connected already by AI and by algorithms. But now for us front-facing consumers, um, everything is going to be connected as well, like your maps with your search and search history. And you mentioned the translations in Japan, Adrian. I saw a clip where Sundar mentioned the new features in Google Meet, which is insane. I'm gonna have to try that out. You can have instant translations now when you're talking to someone in Google Meet in different languages with like a few seconds delay. This is crazy. Just
Crazy.
and then you forget like that is also Google. So we're always talking
Yeah.
about Google Ads and YouTube
Mm.
and demand gen, those things. But yeah, the whole Google infrastructure, it's everything.
Yeah,
It's insane.
and the thing is, the whole infrastructure of Google, like most of it is for free. Google
Oh yeah.
Maps, Google Analytics, Google Meet, everything is for free. So you pay
Hmm.
with data. You pay with data.
Yeah, dude.
So yeah, but everything is also for free. So that's also something that we always forget about Google. They have
Mm.
a amazing infrastructure, making the life of millions better, billions better. But it's also for free. But obviously you pay with data, so you have to be also mindful about that. Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, it's crazy
one.
actually. Then, sorry. One thing that I wanted to note there is because everything is free, they know so much about us. They know where we go with Google Maps. They know who we are with. Know what we're interested in. Well,
Yeah.
everything. And then once that is connected with Gemini, insane. But sorry, I
Yeah.
interrupted you.
No, exactly. I just wanted to say in Dublin, there was also the chief search scientist of Google. So he talked about how search is evolving. And he said like they're gonna do everything to make search more natural. Like it kind of it's gonna be a interaction between humans. Just like AI overviews with AI overviews, you can really now talk to like a human. You can, as I said before, with Google Lens, point out something you want, like in real life, to say, hey, I like your t-shirt. Where did you buy it? And now you do with Google. So the search is going to be very natural. And then he reminded us that one of the biggest beloved features for search that he created together with the team a long time ago, it's kind of like AI, is the what do you mean? For example, if you put in Google a search and then it comes up, do you mean that? So that feature it was obviously the first AI kind of feature, and it's still amongst us. It's still in Google, and it has been made search also more natural. So that was also a very very funny interview with him.
Yeah. Cool. Awesome. Okay, guys, let's do a quick one key takeaway from Google Marketing Live. Just for yourself, what would you think was the key takeaway? Adrian, let's start with you.
AI. Let's start testing with it. That's
Fair enough. Fair enough. And you, Thomas?
Yes, I would say AI is here in order to boost your business. You need to know how to use it. Don't be afraid of AI. Don't have FOMO of AI. Also, that was also a point. And that Google is integrating or kind of combining Google with YouTube a lot. So make the most out of YouTube, creator campaigns, whatever. And I think both together can boost your business. Yeah.
Nice. Cool. For me, it was also, obviously AI, but I guess how fast everything is changing. And as you said, Adrian, what you're saying, I 100% agree. Start experimenting with the tools. Just even if it's like a VO, like their video creation tool, just use it once and see what the options are. So you kind of are familiar and you start thinking about when you're working with video, or maybe we can use VO for that. And maybe you don't know how to do it yourself, but you're starting to see the opportunities more. I recently started to experiment a little bit with Replit and Cursor AI just to create some landing pages with AI. And they are not perfect, but it allowed me to see what the opportunities are. And I think that with AI, just experiment with it, create your own prompts, fail, and then learn as you go. I think that's probably the most important thing you can do right now in this age of AI that we are in. All right, guys. Follow Thomas, follow Adriaan on LinkedIn. They are the best. Subscribe to their newsletters. Get everything they put out. These guys rock. And thank you for coming on, guys. Everyone else, thank you for watching, listening. Don't forget to subscribe and like all that stuff. They also have YouTube channels, so subscribe to them, and we'll catch you in the next episode. Peace.
Ciao.
See you.